This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the Boss Rush family of podcasts, head to bossrush.net or our Patreon at patreon.com/bossrushmedia. Thanks for helping us build something better. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Hey, what's poppin'?
Hey, LeRon.
What's up?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah.
I feel like it's been a hot minute, but it's only been a week. So
Right? Yeah, it dragged on. Was it because like I don't know, like the holiday was last week, and then 9/11 was Monday, so I don't know. Is that what it was? Like I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's just it's been a week, as they say. So also joining us is PK Power Pat Klein.
Someone please wake me up when September ends.
Ha. I get it.
Or just before you go. I'll take either.
Mm-hmm.
Wake me up before you go. Speaking of go, I don't know. The one, the only myth, the legend, Matthew Keil is here.
I love setting you up for jokes you can't finish, Corey.
I know. Well, that's me, Mr. Can't Finish.
That's not true. There are two, there are two living people as proof that you can finish.
Two examples that you can in fact finish.
I would say they're not mine, but they clearly both look like me, so, you know. And I don't have any siblings, so. Stephanie's not joining us tonight. She'll be back soon, but send her well wishes on whatever social media platform you choose.
Yes.
Which for me it is none,
that.
but I haven't been on anything in such a long time. How's everyone doing? How's Matt, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
I'm very tired.
Kid still not sleeping?
No, so last night was the first night where my wife came back into our room, and neither of us could really sleep because we were both just sort of up and down, checking the monitor, making sure he was okay. And yeah, so paranoid sleep is not sleep.
Yeah.
And plus, like my my new job is still like exhausting most of the time. So
yeah,
yeah.
Other
than that,
you'll make it.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Oddly, I do too. For like the first time ever.
Well, never a better time than when you have a child to take care of, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyways, kids are fun, they say. You know? Yeah. Well, guys, tonight is the 200th episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. So we're celebrating.
We made it.
We're celebrating by doing another episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. So congratulations. Cool. You're listening.
Yay.
We won.
Yo, you know what we should have done? What we should have done is
this is my favorite game right here. You know what we should have done?
We should have had a song and dance number.
We should have like skipped like numbering the episode 200 and called it 201, and then everybody would have been like scrambling looking for episode 200. We should have done that.
Yeah.
And then been like episode 200's an NFT, and then
we would get canceled so fast.
I'd be like, no, we actually didn't record it.
It's so funny you say that because at work we did a whole 35-minute podcast episode on blockchain technology and how it's not only used for NFTs and garbage things.
I love words that don't make sense.
Is there any good thing that the blockchain is used for?
There's a lot of like real world cases that it can be applied to, but and I quote, some dumb bitches ruined it.
Sure, yeah.
Oh man.
The,
Anyways,
the problem is, and I'm going to say this, the problem is the porn industry should have gotten a hold of it first, because anytime the porn industry gets a hold of anything, they push technology forward.
That is true. That is true.
It becomes a better thing after the porn industry gets
That is true. Look, DVDs, look at Blu-rays.
Yeah.
That is true.
maybe
Like, there's a reason the home video market exists, and it's because of porn. It's not because they decided, oh, people will want to watch movies at home. No.
It's because they don't want to wank in public in the theater.
maybe they should have gotten a hold of Google Stadia. Rip.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. They had that safe search on. Anyways, what
new gaming console, the Google Incognito. So you can do your dark internet business with a controller.
Oh no. Oh man. Bet the vibration feels good. In a slight delay. Get me out of here. What are we playing, Matt?
The slight delay is important because that builds up anticipation.
Oh God. Matt, what are you playing? I'm just turning this car right around.
Who has the time? I'm too busy thinking about porn. No, I'm kidding.
Everybody's got time for porn. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So I've not been playing a ton, but I did get my first platinum as a father. It was
Platinum Daddy is what they call him.
No, no, it is Remnant 2.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys have talked about this on the show, but this is one of the cooler shooter ideas that is around, in my opinion. The first one was talked about a lot as like a Souls-like with guns.
Mm-hmm.
And there's good reason for that. I don't feel like my buddy, the person I sort of played most of this one and the last one with, Jason, a friend of mine. He and I were kind of talking about this, and he was super adamant that it's not a Souls-like, and I'm like, well, it kind of is. He's like, how? I'm like, how is it not? Because really, all you really need to be a Souls-like is you need to worry about stamina more. You need to have a parry. You need to have a bonfire, and whenever you die, you start back at that bonfire, and you have lost progress, essentially. Remnant 2 plays with that idea in the best way, because when you die in a Souls game, you lose everything you've earned since you last sat at a bonfire. Or no, you lose everything you're carrying except for like items. If you lose like all your leveling currency. In Remnant, you don't lose any of that. There's also a procedural generation element to it, where every time you start a campaign, your entire campaign has been procedurally generated. It's not like Spelunky, where if you die, you start back at square one. You've not gone anywhere. And every time you do die, the world does not change around you. Anyway, this game does for me what I see the people who are really into Destiny lore, like it's that. Yeah, I know. I know, Corey. Don't worry. That was specifically for you. But it does that for me. Like and it does that in a way where I don't really care about the story. I don't really care about the lore. Like, it's there, it's present, but it's fine. But what I really love about it is kind of how awe-inspiring it is and how referential it is to a very blatant degree. One of the areas in this one is basically Bloodborne. Like, it looks and feels like Yharnam in Bloodborne, except when you look up into the sky, it's like Yharnam is under the Aurora Borealis.
Nice.
So that's like a really cool idea. There's another world that it's a desolate planet that's kind of encased in a fog that'll make you sick. You can still there's areas that aren't covered with it, but the fog acts as like, don't go this way, keep moving along. It acts like your wall. And then there's another world that is just a forest, but completely tinged in red. And when you look into the sky, it's bright blue skies, and it's the game is really cool. And then when you get back to the final world, is basically a twist on Earth that has been taken over by the Root, which is the antagonist in the first game as well. I feel like if a pretty predominant Destiny player were to step into this, they'd probably think the shooting isn't that great. Because this is third person, whereas Destiny is predominantly first person, right?
Yeah. It's funny though, because when this game came out, a lot of people jumped off Destiny that season to play this.
Yeah. I mean, it does a lot of that, but also it has weapons that seem to be dreamt up by people who would make weapons for Ratchet and Clank. But instead of making cartoony weapons, they're like, hey, let's make weapons that will kind of just be completely out there. Like in the first game, there's this weapon called the Particle Accelerator. And it's basically just it's essentially just a rifle, shoots like 8 to 10 shots, but when each weapon in this game, you build it up, and if it has a built-in modification, you charge that up as you fire it. This weapon's modification fires a black hole into the arena that can basically pull every enemy into it while doing damage to every enemy that gets pulled.
Wait, are we sure Insomniac didn't make this game?
I'm positive.
You know what this sounds like, honestly, is Outriders.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't play Outriders.
Outriders have some pretty outlandish weaponry.
Yeah.
But this game, I feel like this is one of those games that I kind of wish I was still doing content in the game space, because I would be screaming at the top of my lungs about this game. This game is this game and Remnant from the Ashes are two of the coolest ideas for me that have come out in a while. Do I think that either of them are like the best game ever? No, I don't. They're like not really close. But for doing a lot of things that are kind of in vogue right now, like, you know, the proc gen, the Souls-like stuff, it still finds so many ways to set itself apart. Like, it even does item descriptions as well, like the Souls games are known for. I've also one of the cool things in this game, and this was kind of prevalent in the first, but it's just more so this one. Let's say, for example, Corey, LeRon, Pat, and I all start a campaign. On our own, just solo. We could each get the same 3 worlds you'll get the same 3 worlds, but you could get the exact same order and the exact same rotation of places to go, but you don't always get the same events, and those events can lead to different mini bosses, different weapons, different armor sets. And I love the fact that happens, but it doesn't really detract from your experience. You don't have to have everything to finish it. It's pretty finishable on the normal difficulty for just about everyone. There are a couple boss fights that really suck, I'll be honest. They're poorly designed, and it just seems like kind of phoned in. But I think every game has that, so I wouldn't really levy it.
Yeah, I was about to say that's par for the course.
Yeah, like I wouldn't really say like that's a reason to sort of not look into this, but the RPG ideas that it uses are really cool. And I'm trying not to go too deep because I could probably talk the entire show about this game, and I know none of y'all want that.
Do it.
No, no. But this game is really cool, and it's easy to play co-op. It's jump in, jump out. It's not hard. I think that when you say a term like procedural generation or roguelike or souls-like even, that can be a no-go for like massive swaths of the gaming community. This is the one I would say like maybe not think too deeply or maybe not be too afraid of those aspects because it's not nearly as punishable or as punishing as a Souls game. To me, I've played all of them. I consider myself semi good at them, but I don't feel like this is a Souls like in the way that the
It was advertised.
No, I don't. But when you say Souls like, everyone's like, oh, get good, get better. It's not the game's fault you suck, and I hate that shit. But I feel like these games are Souls games or Souls likes in just certain aspects only, rather than difficulty. And there are always ways around the difficulty, and I feel like the ways around the difficulty in these games are way more upfront and accessible. You don't have to know like a back channel to skip something or whatever. Otherwise, I pulled out another giant robot game on Switch called Project Nimbus, the complete edition. I didn't know there was another edition. It was the first time I had seen this, and so it looks like it's a really good mech combat simulator. If you like Gundam like I do, like it's a really good one of those. And the reason I picked that up is because I had to work one day and I really wanted to play Armored Core and couldn't. So, and I still haven't had a chance to play Armored Core. So,
I'm playing for you.
Good.
I'm playing Armored.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be there soon.
It is everything you dreamed it would be.
So I've never played an Armored Core game, so I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I missed.
Okay,
that. I missed that.
Okay, but you are a nerd. I feel like you were that giant robot anime nerd back in the day.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
This game, yeah, I played old school Armored Core. Like the last Armored Core I played was 3, so that was on PS2, and and the series kind of went cold with me. But when they announced 6. I was like, I think I want to play this. And yeah, like I got it day one and I have not been disappointed. As a matter of fact, I feel like for as much enthusiasm as I've had for the game, I am not playing it enough.
I love that.
Yeah, for real, like I've got gaming ADD right now because technically I'm playing like 6 games, even though I technically just put Starfield down just for like a hot minute.
Okay. Well, and then
the
other thing I'm playing. I don't need another Fallout game. I'm sorry. The other thing I'm playing is an old favorite of mine. I started
Bloodborne.
Nope, older favorite, Persona 3.
Oh man, you went back.
I went back. I've everyone has been saying they wanted Persona 4 on modern consoles, but I've been the one who's like, no, just give us 3. I just want to play 3. I just want to have a place to play 3 again. And granted, we got 3, 4, and 5 everywhere.
Don't forget, 3's getting remade here. I think February.
So I think portable is a better. I played the original 3. I played FES on PlayStation 2 originally, and I thought the portable version was better.
Well, from what I understand, this is like they're actually taking the word remake seriously. Like people were disappointed that like they're not doing a portable or like they're not having female protagonists.
Any additional content. They're not doing the FES stuff. It's basically basic Persona 3.
But they didn't say that they weren't expanding on it. So we may still see various content. We just won't see the female protagonist.
I think you'll see it anyway, but I think they will do that as DLC. or they'll do Persona 3 Reload Royal or something like that. Like that's what they'll do. And because Atlas sees a way to make some cash.
Oh yeah,
with Persona
I could agree with that statement.
Now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they started putting out the soundtracks on vinyl for God's sake. Like they know they finally know and understand how to start, doing more with what they have. It's taken them a very long time, and I don't expect any of this to come quickly. But I think that you'll see a lot more out of it. I wish they would acknowledge the prior games, because I've never played 1. I've never played either version of 2.
They would need to be remade. I imagine if they were to ever just release 1 and 2 again and didn't change a thing, people would be very confused because they're nothing like 3.
Yeah, I think newcomers would be like. I mean, I've looked at those games enough that like I kind of want to go in anyway, but because I've sort of done that exploring, it wouldn't hit me as hard. It'd probably be a little bit of a learning curve, and I'd probably have to use a guide. But who doesn't use a guide when going back to an old game now? We all do it. If you're going to tell me you don't, I'm going to call you a liar. And,
guides.
And yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm playing, and it's 3 things that kind of encapsulate me as a fucking nerd.
Nerd.
Going back to Remnant 2, are you excited for Lies of P?
I've heard so much about Lies of P. I don't know what Lies of P is.
It's a Pinocchio based Bloodborne.
Yeah, it's take on Pinocchio.
Yeah, but it's like real dark and like,
So is it basically American McGee's Pinocchio then? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah,
more or less, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it looks really cool.
I mean, everybody I know that has told me it looks cool are either friends of mine or people I respect. Mm-hmm. So I'll at least look at it.
Yeah. Do you have Game Pass? Do you have Game Pass at all? Like PC?
I do have Game Pass. I'm never at my PC playing games.
Because it's on Game Pass day one on PC and Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah. If you wanted to try it out and then get it for something else, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I think it'll be one of those things that like if I get a demo, I'll get it on Steam Deck and see how I like it, and then if I go any further, I'll either get it there or.
There is a demo out. I think you can. I don't know if it's on PC, but there's definitely a demo on consoles.
Okay.
And it's a nice demo. It's got a couple levels, and I think like 3 bosses.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
I think the demo is like 5 or 6 hours long, so
not that long.
Well, that's what some people were telling me at the beginning when it first came out.
It's like 2 or 3 hours, depending on how good you are.
Well, someone that sucks could take 10 hours.
Not all of us are pros, Pat. Jeez.
Yeah. Pro game over here, Pat Klein. That's why they call him PK Power. So powerful.
Yep.
Speaking of Pat, what are you playing, Pat?
All right. Well, I do have 2 new games that I tried out here this week. Well, one this weekend and one yesterday. The game I got this weekend was called Anonymous Code, and this is a visual novel by the creators of Steingate or Chaos Child or Chaos Head. This is a very popular series in Japan called the Science Adventure series, and there's 6 mainline games, and then these games have like plethora of spin-offs ranging from video games to novels to manga to play. Yes, you're raising your hand.
Yes. So, what did you say it was called? The Science Adventure series?
The Science Adventure series.
So that sounds like a segment on Sesame Street, and I'm kind of in.
I was gonna say it sounds like a canceled Netflix kids show that got canceled after like 10 episodes.
Hosted by Mr. Wizard or some shit.
This, what's funny is that I would definitely not recommend this game for kids.
Yeah,
Or the
no,
series for that.
100%.
I would.
No,
They learn early.
Get them that dark knowledge.
Chaos Head involves serial killings and the ability to kind of like.
I mean, they'll learn about that on the news anyway. Why not a game?
Yeah. Anyways, it's a very interesting game. It is a visual novel. The game is mostly read, but there is a little bit of interaction. What's the interaction with this one? Like each science adventure game kind of has a science theme, and this one's based on coding and hacking. So the idea is your character has the ability to load and save real life. He is a hacker, but for some reason he's able. Huh?
Hashtag goals. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. He gets he's a small time hacker, but he gets embroiled in this conspiracy that ranges all the way from like the Vatican to try and stop the world from ending within 3 months. And the way he can do this is that he can actually load or save and load real life. So there's like one example is early on in the game, you have a mission to stop a plane from crashing. And he goes through this, like, he finds out like pieces of information, something doesn't work. He can load back to a prior save status, like couple hours, prior, and then, take that knowledge with him and start, maybe trying to solve like how to get this plane to land without crashing. Nice. And that's kind of the theme with this one. It's been a very good story so far. Very interesting characters. I would like a little more interaction with it, but I'm used to games like Phoenix Wright and Danganronpa, which had that more interactive theme with the visual novel. This is like I said, 95% visual novel and like 5% interacting. Like your interacting is pushing the hack button at the right time so that you could load up a save state.
Did you ever play any of the nonary games?
Yes, those are amazing.
Like, do you feel like this is how do you feel like the story here compares? Because I'm like the one person I know that I do not like those games.
You do not like those games? Yeah. This is probably not a game for you then.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
it's not that I was mad that it was a visual novel. Like that doesn't bother me. I thought that those games were completely overwrought and overrated. But I didn't think the story was very good.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some twists and turns and like confusion that's going on that I'm hoping like gets cleared up. Like what exactly is this? Like how do you get this power? And like what the overall arching like plan is in the game. It's a good story so far. I just only played it for a little bit, like a couple hours here. And visual novels can be like a 20 to 50 hour affair depending on what game you actually pick up.
Or how much you actually read.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily, most of the game is voice acted, so you can put it on auto and just kind of let them tell the story themselves. But then the problem is if it's on auto, you might miss the part where you have to, push the hack button, and then it gets too far and you get a game over.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's fun. The other game I got is called Eternites. And this is an indie game by a new company called Studio or Studio Psy. It's one of those two. And I would describe this game as indie action-based Persona, but hornier. This is
now you have my attention.
This is a game.
I don't know if you have mine yet.
It's like it's a game that takes place kind of in a modern day Tokyo, and you play as this like non-named character, high schooler that probably is a little dirty, a little bit on the dirty side. Like the game begins with you setting up a dating profile with your best friend.
Hell yeah.
And the humor is out there. Like you can look at tissue box and like your character appreciates his the tissue box. It's like, oh, hello there, old friend.
Oh God.
Or something. There's something around that
Jesus
lines.
Christ.
But yeah, the game is a mixture of an action RPG and a dating sim, and it involves the world. This like strange like virus or pharmaceutical disaster happens, and people are starting to turn into monsters. And while this is also happening, two walls kind of like fall in Tokyo too, like separating them, which you'll find out why later. But as this is happening, everyone like that's not fully affected by this virus, like sheltered, and the shelters are failing, and so you're trying to escape. And in the process of escaping, your character gets his arm sliced off. But he gets this magical arm in place, and it's like Green Lantern powers. Like he can like turn into the form of anything that he can think of, which of course is just mainly a sword. So you have the ability to fight these creatures using your magical sword arm, and you run into other characters in the game, mostly women, who, as you get to know them and build your bond with them, they in turn give you more power, whether it's through more attacks or become stronger
Social
in various
links.
stats. Yeah, it's a social link, but it's more than just like one stat. Like they give you points that you can like allocate into other things and abilities.
Okay.
So there's a reason why you would want to date all these people is so that you can get powerful. And then when you do a dungeon run, which takes place, you have a calendar and you have a certain event that's going to happen at a certain day, very much like Persona. And you can like just fool around or do whatever for like any of the days, but you have to have the dungeon complete before the deadline. Otherwise, it's game over. The dungeons themselves, though, aren't that complicated like they are in Persona. You can literally go through them in one day without having to worry. Because if you die, you kind of just get reloaded into a checkpoint in the dungeon with full health. So it's, there's no real consequence to dying. And also, you can change the difficulty whenever you want. But yeah, the humor is very crude. The characters are definitely teenagers. So far, it's like I said, it's Persona, like a Persona universe in an action based like it. You're not getting a Persona combat. It's not turn based.
Right.
It's not very complicated with like spells. Like bad guys may have an elemental shield that they'd be weak to if you like have a fire attack, but it's not going to be like super complicated like Persona. It's just a lot of hacking and slashing. But then there's a dating sim in it as well.
A teenage dating sim.
That's right. But they're all of age because this is America.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
or they're immortal, but they look young.
No.
That's how you get around it.
Yeah.
Just like Fire Emblem.
Oh God.
That's what they'll tell you. And you find out later that they aren't. So
well, like the little dragon girls that are like 1,000 years old. That way it's okay for them to flirt with you. Because they're not a good little girl.
They're chasing their own dragons, am I right?
Yep. So those are the two new ones I got. Otherwise, I played some more Sea of Stars. I'm absolutely loving that game.
It's an amazing
I
game.
Yeah, just I would consider one of the first twists in the game, which just made me really enjoy the story more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what else happens in this game. But the characters are great. The environments are beautiful. The music is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was this one song that just it was literally just bass drum, just bass drums like slapping you in the face like testicles.
Mm.
Like it's just
Matt's face. Oh my god.
yeah. I mean, you just get slapped hard with
Good.
that bass drum.
Yeah,
It's great.
I really love to see a stars. This is our book club game for this month, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
I think. I guess.
I don't know. We didn't really pick one, and we need something for the 24th. So I guess we
Okay.
better get on it.
Well, I guess that means we have to. I guess means we have to focus on it and try and beat it then.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
need to start that game. I'm really excited for it.
Oh, it's really good, man. Matt, you're gonna love this game. I really feel like that you are gonna love this game.
This the same. Is this the same studio that did Chris Tales?
No, it's the studio that did The Messenger.
Okay.
Yeah. Completely different genre, but it has the same attention to story as The Messenger did.
Yeah, and they're also in the same universe.
Yes.
They're somehow connected. I think this is a prequel to The Messenger.
Okay. Very far prequel.
Yeah. So, but Matt, I highly suggest you play this. It's really cool. Yeah. I love the characters. I love Garl the most.
Garl was one that you thought was gonna be a dweeb, but he turned out to be really cool.
Oh, yeah, he's really cool.
I thought he was gonna die at the beginning. It's
yeah, that too.
Because like in all the screenshots and all like the trailers and stuff, they only show the two main characters.
Yeah.
And like they show him pop out, and then there's something that happens within the story, and I thought, oh my god, they're gonna kill him.
Nope.
Warrior Cook. That's his class.
Yeah, bashing people with a freaking frying pan. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, he fights with a frying pan, and he has one of his special moves is called Nourish, which is like his healing power.
Love that.
He just rips a random food item out of the backpack and throws it at somebody, and they heal.
Just wait till you get Pressure Cooker. That's fun one.
I'm so excited.
No, I did defeat the first dweller though, so
nice.
That was actually a pretty cool fight.
Yeah, I hate these in the area I'm in. I hate these bugs that summon other bugs.
That's why you got to break their locks before they do that.
I don't think I've figured out the combat system yet.
Yeah, I'm having the hard time with it too. Like it seems like every single enemy, like there's no timing. Like the timing is different. That's what I meant to say. And it kind of drives me nuts.
Yeah, and certain
it also certain times when you're getting attacked, you don't know exactly when the attack is happening.
Yeah, or like sometimes if you're like, if you're like surrounded, you don't know which character is going to get attacked.
Yeah,
which I mean, it's fine. I don't care about that. But like, I'm having trouble knowing which moves to use next because like the indicators, like I have this ring that puts indicators above all the enemies, and so like one of them is a sword, which is obviously attack, but one's a hammer and one is like the magic spells, but I don't know if that's just your basic magic spell or if you have to do the like the R2 or the the R.
It's both actually.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So the way that works is if the enemy has one of those bars, you want to try and tackle those like attributes or
in that
what they call locks. Not even in that order. You just have to break those locks. So like if it's say like a hammer and a moon, you could attack them with a moon attack first and then a hammer attack if you want and still break the lock.
But what's the difference between a sword and a hammer?
Slash
the
and
male
blunt?
character has the sword. That's a slash versus a blunt.
What would a blunt?
A blunt would be the girl's staff or girl's frying pan.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the sword would be the main the guy, and
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but can you like just based on that, can you like swap who's attacking next? Okay,
yes, you
that's
just
where.
push the directional button. So,
Okay.
like, if someone is specifically like Hammer, but you have Zale, the male character first, just push the arrow key over, and you can have Valerie, whatever her name is, attack first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I never tried to switch, so I just, Yeah,
if you break the locks, that character loses a turn.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So.
Okay.
There's a little strategy there.
Cool. But yeah, man, I love the design of this game. I love the level. I love the colors, how much the colors pop, and like it really feels like a tribute to those classic Super Nintendo RPGs. But
did you get to the waterfall level? That's where you are right now, right?
That's where I'm at right now, yeah.
Oh man, that level's so beautiful.
I know.
So fun.
Yeah.
Did you get to the water level, LeRon?
No, not yet.
The waterfall level?
Oh, the waterfall level? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's so beautiful.
I thought we were talking about a level that was just nothing but water.
I mean, there's some of those, but it's I meant the waterfall level. That such a good one.
And the first trial thing was really cool. Like once you come out of the school and kind of do that thing, and then you go into the first trial, that level looks really cool too. It kind of looks like it's covered in snow.
Mm-hmm.
But
so like how that first boss looked suspiciously like Lavos from Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good.
Wait, you were talking about Chrono Trigger? I thought you meant GLaDOS from Portal.
No, Lavos from Chrono Trigger, the parasitic alien. Yeah, if you like Chrono Trigger,
I've never played Chrono Trigger, so
I never
played Chrono Cross, but I never played Chrono Trigger.
What is up all these people playing Chrono Cross but never playing Chrono Trigger? I don't understand.
Cross is awesome. You shut your mouth.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Awesome.
Chrono Cross is awesome for people who had never played Chrono Trigger and thought that just thought that it was going to be like. It's awesome for people who've never played Chrono Trigger. I'm just gonna say that. I played Chrono Trigger, and when Chrono Cross came out, I was amped. I was like, oh, it's a sequel to Chrono Trigger, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
No, it's actually a game that came
Chrono
out.
Chrono Cross, but better, or Chrono Trigger, but better.
It's actually Radical Dreamers. Yeah, Dreamers or Chasers. Radical Dreamers, but they added Chrono Trigger elements to the game and called it Chrono Cross. That is what it is.
See, that is some bullshit.
So it is the original Street Fighter Cross Tekken, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. Oh, so good. All right, LeRon, it's your turn. What are you playing? I'm skipping Pat's other games because it's 50 minutes into the show.
Fine. I honestly have hardly played Star Ocean.
In all honesty, for the sake of keeping this show short, basically everything I've been playing the past few weeks, I've been playing, consistently right now. I have kind of stepped back on Starfield for a little bit, just because it's not tugging the right strings. Let's just put it that way. And I'm one of those people, if a game is slow in the beginning, the odds of me wanting to stick with you, immediately kind of go down the tube.
Just gotta get past the first 20 hours. I'm telling you.
See, that is too much, especially with Mortal Kombat coming out real soon here, and Liza P coming out. No, I got shit to do.
I'm an adult with a schedule, and I work 2 jobs and have a kid. I don't have 20 hours. Gaming can become a full-time job if you're not careful. I say that as someone who just started Persona 3 again. So enjoy your loss of 150 hours. Yeah, enjoy that. I mean, I still have more Monster Hunter to play too. So.
Wait, you're playing on the Switch? Damn it!
No, I'm playing on PlayStation.
Oh, you're playing on PlayStation? Wait.
Yeah.
It is not cross-play with fucking PC.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry, LeRon.
Wait. Is it free on PlayStation? No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's free on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, because I'm not buying it again. Like this is one of my resolutions, right? Like I am no longer double buying games, especially buying games when I know the intent is that it will wind up on the PC.
Oh yeah. I said this on this show before, and I stand by it. All games go to PC, legally or illegally. They all end up on PC.
Precisely.
Red Dead Redemption. I'd like to have a word with you.
Speaking of which, that's sitting in my shopping cart right now. It's $20 right now on Steam. It's sitting in my shopping cart right now. Oh, two.
No. I thought it was number one that's never made it to PC yet.
Yeah, one's not on PC.
Maybe not legally.
Yeah, one still.
even after their remastered version, they came.
Trust me, I have a ROG Ally. I can play Red Dead Redemption. On PC right now if I want to.
give me like a weekend and the actual motivation. I will find a way to play Red Dead Redemption.
I already told you the trick.
Oh man.
It's called Get the Xbox Emulator. But yeah, essentially I'm still playing the same games like Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars right now is kind of like my champion. Like that's a game I spend like an hour play like before I go to bed, play that, do my little bit of grinding and keep going. I do love the combat system. I figured out some things once you figured out how to do magic, how to do magic without doing magic, quote, like that shit got fun. And then you start, it opens up the combat system, because like you'll have the enemies that like they have their different things that make them vulnerable, and then you can start playing around with it by just like I forget the little orbs you harvest to do the magic, to basically fake doing the magic. But yeah, like once you figure that out, I still don't like that. It seems like no matter what, you can't completely like break the combat system. Like everything. Somebody's gonna get a chance to attack you, no matter what. Whether they have like a number 4 above their timer or number 3 above their timer or whatever, somebody's gonna get a chance to attack you or some shit. So it doesn't matter what you do, because like Valera's moonbeam skill, that shit is awesome because that shit will hit everything on the fucking map.
Yeah.
but you have to be good with your timing.
Yeah.
Because I've been pissed a couple of times whereas I get it off 3 times, like, what? That's it?
I've gotten it 24 times. I'm always one freaking off from getting that achievement.
Wait, there's an achievement getting for 25 hits?
Yep, if you can deflect the moonrang for 25 times, you get an achievement.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I've literally gotten 24 3 times.
I just like the idea of I'm gonna do magic without doing magic.
Yeah,
that's how it's explained to you.
Yeah, it's literally word for word.
Yeah, basically, it's a magic attack that doesn't drain your magic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. Out of other people and stealing their magic.
Yeah,
and I find a way to convert that to real life.
And I will say the game is challenging, but it's not hard. The game is very nice to you. Let's put it that way. Like you don't like you're not always strapped for magic. You're not always strapped for hit points and stuff like that. Like the game is very nice to you. So like anyone that's interested in it, like all I have to say is like like it's on Game Pass. Like it was a day one
PS Plus.
Yes, yeah, PS Plus. Like it was a day one PS Plus game, even though it's not free on PS Plus, but still, like it's there.
It was free.
Wait, it is?
Yeah, it's on the extra tier or extra tier. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Like my PlayStation has been on recently.
Just out here being extra. Come on.
Oh, they being extra.
Going up by $45.
They being extra. All right, that's true. Because speaking of, like, I definitely downgraded my tier. Like, I am no longer in the premium tier.
Yeah, I actually just canceled my PS Plus altogether.
Oh, you know what?
I need those cloud saves.
I don't play PlayStation enough to.
Same. I need the cloud saves. And I need and every now and then I get the wild hair to play a game online, like maybe like once every like 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, basically my roll call still is Dead Space, Spider-Man 2018, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk, Starfield's kind of in the back burner, and Sea of Stars. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6.
What do you think of Bomb Rush Cyberpunk?
I love it, but I love it. I really do. I really do. But there's something in the back of my brain that's like, I want Jet Set Radio.
Okay. All right, good.
I absolutely love this game. Like it is fun. Like there's so like it's got a lot of versatility to it, but I don't know. Maybe it's because like I enjoyed Jet Set Radio and so much because like when you go back and play that game, like you get the nostalgia and stuff, like like the music was magical, and not saying Bomb Rush is not the same way. It's just it's a more modern feel to it, and it's just something you gotta just wrap your brain around, but there's so much to love about. I feel like the tagging system's a little too easy,
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like this should be harder.
There's like no rhyme or reason to the tagging system. You can literally get your tag off no matter what. Like you don't have to do the same pattern or whatnot, even though you're doing the same tag, and all that stuff. Yeah. The story is actually pretty tight though, because I tell you what, like I did not expect the shit to go down the way it did in the first 20 minutes of the game.
See, now I think I've been salivating for that game since I saw it announced because, like you, I've wanted more Jet Set Radio for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And even though I went back to the Vita version when it came out so long ago, and I was like, man, this just isn't what I remember. But then I realized why it wasn't what I remember. It's because the last thing I remember playing was Jet Set Radio Future, and going back to that, it wasn't like night and day different from Jet Set Radio, but it was just such a refinement and such a better executed package.
Yeah,
in my memory. And then seeing this, I was like, oh great. And then even what's the composer?
I know Naganuma.
Yeah, Hideki Naganuma was like, I won't be able to make another Jet Set Radio. These guys are doing it. And I was like, I'm ready. And then when it came out, and I really tried for like a solid. I was doing this over a 12-hour shift at work, just in between, doing my job. And it just, for some reason, no matter how hard I tried, it just couldn't click.
It's like it wasn't sticking. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm thinking it's because I was doing it at work.
Well, you know what? That might be it. Because it's one of those things where like the first night when it came out, like I played it, I played just enough to like get a taste of it and stuff like that, and then I played it again, like not the next day, the day after, and I was like, wait a minute. I had too much shit going on. I was like, hold on, I need to like devote a little bit of time to it. So like I actually set, I turned off the television, didn't have any background noise, anything like that. Just played it on my ROG Ally, just got in the bed, like kick the puppies out the room and everything, and just played it. And I was like, okay, this is fun. But like I said, like the thing in the back of my head is like, this is not Jet Set Radio, and it's not that it's tainting like Bomb Rush in any way. It's not, but the problem is just like how people like absolutely love like Ocarina of Time, and they can't play like other offshoots that have come out for Zelda since then. This is kind of the same way I feel with Jet Set Radio versus Bomb Rush Cyberfunk.
It's like what people are saying about Blue Sky versus Twitter. Like Blue Sky seems like a really good replacement for Twitter, but ultimately it's not Twitter.
It's not Twitter. Yeah.
So
it needs to open itself up so that it can compete against Twitter.
I think it's coming. It's coming. We just have to be patient. Just like how Threads is like becoming its own entity. It's coming.
Yeah. Threads, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's everything. That's everything I'm playing. That's everything I'm going to continue to keep playing, and then I got fucking Mortal Kombat 1 into the mix.
Well, not only Mortal Kombat 1, Lies of P's comes out that same day.
I know.
I'm actually going to like. I do want to play a game, but that's a game that's going into the back tier.
Yeah, I feel like Mortal Kombat is definitely more LeRon speed than Lies of P.
Well, number one,
Based on what you guys
like,
told me.
yeah, number one, like I'll be able to get my fill of Mortal Kombat 1 real soon, real easily. Like I doubt I'm gonna be wasting my time with the season pass and getting all the DLC and all that stuff. I just want to get the nitty gritty of the story so I can move on.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, out of all the fighting games that have come out this year, like we had Granddaddy Street Fighter 6 and all that stuff. We had some other stuff like when Mortal Kombat 1 was announced, I was like, okay, I'm not worried about shit else as far as fighting games right now. Until Tekken 8, of course.
Tekken 8. It's coming.
We need to get you on that Guilty Gear, son.
Yo, man, Guilty Gear has changed so much. I used to have a fucking blast of Guilty Gear.
Though. It's so dope.
It's changed so much though, like shit.
Yeah.
And my favorite character, like Angemino, like oh my god, I love that dude, but I cannot play him for shit in this newest iteration of fucking Guilty Gear now. I'm like, what did they do?
That's all right. My wife and I jumped into Xrd Revelator 2, and we don't know how to play. We just button mash, and it's like we get there, and we literally ask each other, how do we do sick anime shit? And then we just hit the buttons, and then sick anime shit happens, and it's amazing.
That's what it feels. That's what it feels like. It feels like back when we were like little kids, just mashing everything out, and it looks so fucking cool to translate on the screen.
Wow.
God. The artwork is just always top notch though in those Guilty Gear games though. I'm like, man, like if I knew how to draw, I would want to draw like that.
Yeah, same. They just did a Kickstarter for a board game.
Yo, sign me up.
Well, it just ended. It ended like 2 days ago.
Okay. I'm still mad I missed out on the Monster Hunter board game. I'm so mad about that.
Just buy it.
I may be able to help you out there, LeRon.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna talk. Hey, can we go ahead and end the show now, Corey?
I mean, if you want, I guess we can.
I mean, you know how to find me, LeRon.
That is true. Yep. It's episode 200. We're not going to cut it short for you guys like that. Like, I mean, Matt and I can have our love fest, without the listeners here.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Lose the sleeves of the talk. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I wore sleeves tonight.
Yeah.
You did. Well, I guess it's my turn. We already talked about all the games that I'm playing.
Well, good. Well, good. Then your segment's going to be really short then.
It is. The one thing I did play that's not on this list, I forgot. So if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you get a 10-hour free trial of Madden. And I played that, and guess what?
Why'd you do it to yourself?
It's even worse than last year.
I knew you were going to say that.
Now I know why he did it, because he wanted to see if they could get any worse.
Oh my god! This is your fetish. This is your fetish, dude. You play Madden every year.
I do.
Well, I think you're going to get some type of gratification, and the gratification you get is just that it gets worse.
Look, man, I'm just hoping it gets good again someday, so I can actually maybe play it sometimes.
Aren't you tired of getting lashed by this game? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I played it for 2 nights, and then I uninstalled it. I was playing
Corey, you were like Gray Fox from Metal Gear Solid. Just hurt me more. That's
Yep. The safe word is banana.
Madden. No, Madden. That's the safe word. He said banana.
Safe word is Rogers.
Oh no! Too soon.
Oh no, that was funny. I mean,
it's funny because I hate the fucking Packers. I know he's a Jet now, but I still hate the Packers.
Well, the Packers dominated the Bears this weekend.
Yeah, so. I know. Don't remind me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did
the Eagles win? I don't know.
Yeah, they did. They beat the Patriots.
The Browns won. Did you see that?
Yeah, now everyone's talking about the playoffs. Shit ain't gonna happen.
They do that every time.
Yo, that sounded funny just hearing that come out your mouth.
Here's the thing. If you lived in Cleveland, dude, remember when they thought Baker Mayfield was going to be the savior of the team, and then they ended up cutting him?
Yeah. No, I remember.
Or trading him to the Panthers or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. This is what happens when you go from bad to mediocre, okay? People get excited. It's one game, but I'm excited. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I played that. It was bad. I played 7 games online. I went 5-2 in my head. If you disconnect it, you don't win or lose. So, if people turn their console off, they don't count it towards anything.
People don't like to lose online.
Rage quitters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did have 7 interceptions in one half, though. That person disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also played some more Starfield, and I said, you know what? I'm over it, and I uninstalled it.
He's like, I'm out. I'm done.
You know what I did reinstall, though, LeRon?
What did you reinstall?
Mass Effect.
Yo! I haven't. I installed in Rogue Ally last week.
Yeah, Starfield, like, it really made me want to play Mass Effect. So I'm like, let's go play some Mass Effect at some point.
So I've seen a little bit of Starfield, but I still don't really know what it is. Is it just Fallout in space?
Imagine if they mixed Fallout with No Man's Sky and with some big twists in the game.
Okay.
So.
Mm-hmm. Fallout combat, No Man's Sky gameplay.
Yeah, the combat is really bad, though, in my opinion.
It is like the best Bethesda's ever been with their combat.
Okay, that's still like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, like
that's
I feel like
VATS was invented.
I feel like the early Fallout games would argue with you at this point because a lot of people love how those games play.
Yeah, because of VATS. It's not because of the actual gunplay.
No, the early ones.
Oh,
like 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, the asymmetrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what Wasteland is for. No.
I mean, I remember when I was the sole one on a crew really in love with No Man's Sky, and then everyone's like, but it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this. I'm like, but did you play it? Well, no, because it doesn't have any of that. Well, play the game. Like the game I got with No Man's Sky when it came out, yes, it's changed vastly and improved, and it's wonderful now.
Didn't they just put out a new update?
Yes, they did. Echoes.
I think that No Man's Sky, vanilla No Man's Sky was. I mean, I think it was number 6 on my 10 best games of the year, or 10 favorite games of the year, and I still stand by that. I thought that game was fucking awesome.
I want to get back into No Man's Sky again.
I could go back and check for you if you want, man.
I put the VR goggles on and just fly around in No Man's Sky, and it's a vibe.
Oh man!
Put some good post rock on. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Let's see what else. We talked about Sea of Stars, and lastly, big news in Disney Dreamlight Valley, guys. In the story, I'm on the last, like.
Did they reveal that Ron DeSantis is the villain of the game?
No, not yet.
Mm.
I mean, I know none of you are ever going to play Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis shit.
I would play it if there's like not much else going on. Like, I want to try it. I just have all the other things going on.
Well, then I won't spoil it for you, Pat.
What? I don't even know what.
Go ahead and spoil
it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but
it's Animal Crossing for Disney fans.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
And it has like quests and storylines and stuff.
So that's an improvement over Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
No, Animal Crossing had quests. You just had to make them yourself.
Yeah.
Same could be said about Minecraft.
But I'm on the so in the main story, I'm on the last mission, but I haven't done. But like the way the stories progress, you have to like level up the villagers too, and I can't access the final mission until I level up certain characters. And so that's what I've been working on. And it kind of sucks because I've been avoiding characters. I'm like, I don't want to do.
There's like, don't be bashful. Get that XP up. Come on, son.
No Snow White yet. So
I took a shot in the dark.
I know. I know. Let's see what else.
Which characters are you actively avoiding?
Well, the 3 characters I've actively been avoiding are the 3 characters I need to level up. So,
I know which Disney characters you hate.
Ursula from Little Mermaid, which I haven't even unlocked the other characters from Little Mermaid in there. So Ursula and Mother Gothel from Tangled and Scar are the 3 characters I've been avoiding. So
why avoid Ursula? Ursula's all right.
I don't know. I was trying to unlock a lot of the so I kind of like the way the game works is like if you level up certain characters, you unlock new areas, and if you level up certain characters, you unlock like your tools that you use. Like the pickaxe, for example, there's 3 levels, and I'm on level 2. So I was trying to progress to do the Frozen missions because Elsa upgrades your pickaxe, or I try to do Scrooge McDuck's quest because you unlock the store, and then when you level up the store, you get special items, and I did a lot of Remy from Ratatouille's quest because the restaurant there gives you like a discount on ingredients for cooking and stuff, or you can just go to Goofy and buy seeds and plant them yourself. But and then like
of course Goofy's selling seeds.
I know. I did Moana's whole quest because she ends up opening like a fishing thing for you, and she goes and catches fish for you. And then you can just go to her every 10 minutes, and she'll have. I leveled it up all the way, so she'll have 20 different types of fish for me to pick up.
So you can't fish yourself. She fishes
you. You can fish yourself, but this is like they give you options to like. I guess their way of automating things, right?
Rather than waste time doing it, spend fake money to get.
Yeah, and I'm doing Wally's quest line right now too because he has the garden, and I'm tired of gardening, so I make him do it. So They're like segmented away from the other villagers. It's weird. Scar's the only one that lives in like an area where like when you unlock the other Lion King characters, like the Lion King section of the map. The other thing that's cool too is like you go into the castle that's in there. And
you're telling me there is segregation in Disney Dreamlight Alley.
Yep. I knew it.
Disney's Dark Past is coming back.
Yep.
Oh man,
they can't hide. They can't hide.
And then you go into the castle to unlock other characters, and you can visit new realms. Like I went to Bonnie's room from Toy Story 3 and 4, and the Pride Lands for Lion King, and a few other places. So,
no, the game sounds very, very interesting, and I would like to get into it if I knew that wasn't going to take several hundred hours to.
Yeah. Well, I have put in 4 days and 6 hours worth of time in this game, so the other cool thing too is like if you it's going to launch into 1.0 sometime this year apparently, or early next year. It's technically an early access, but you can put in you can buy like the Founders Edition for $30, $50, or $70. There's 3 tiers, and then they give you in-game currency to do things. And then there's their versions of battle passes, which is it's called the Star Pass, where you can unlock cool things, new outfits for your characters, and stickers to decorate your house and all that kind of stuff. But the cool thing is if you have it downloaded on multiple systems, there's universal cloud save. So like if I'm playing it on the couch on my Switch and then I come in my office and start playing my Xbox, I can pick up where I left off.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. So what other game I downloaded was Disney Speedstorm, and it still sucks. So they said they made a lot of improvements, so I was like, oh, maybe it'll be good now. Maybe I can just go in and buy the characters, because you only get one character when you download this game. We've talked about it on here before, but they said they made improvements, and they made microtransaction adjustments and character changes and stuff. I was like, cool, maybe I can just go buy Figment or whatever. And it's like, nope. I'm like, okay, uninstall, goodbye. Yeah, but that's what I've been playing. Dude, Sea of Stars so good. That's all I'm thinking about now.
Sea of Stars is a good game.
Yeah. All right. So I think we only have time for like one topic. What topic do we want to go with? The first topic or the second topic? The first topic's better, but might take a little bit longer.
Well, the first topic we put all our notes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, let's do that then. We're gonna do.
All right.
So it's almost October, believe it or not.
God damn it.
So this is our probably quarterly, but this is the first time we're doing it. We should start doing it quarterly. Our games of the year so far. So we're going to pick 5 games that we really love and 2 games that were the biggest disappointments. So I don't know how we want to do this. Do we want to go one at a time? Do we want to just go our list and just, hey, these are the games?
Let's just everyone just do their list.
Do the list.
Okay.
Because I feel like if we go one by one, like we will definitely talk way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that anyway. All right.
Well, the good news is my list is short because I don't have 5 contenders, but I do have 4 games plus 1 disappointment.
Well, LeRon, you want to go first then, since you spoke out?
Sure, I'll do this. I'll do this. And you know what? I'll make this pretty simple because a lot of these games I've been speaking about like basically all year.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start with my number one. We're gonna start with my number one, which is Dead Space. The Dead Space remake. Like, I love everything about this. I am so glad that EA actually, had like the cojones to actually like go back to a project that, like they basically killed themselves and stuff like that. And they let a team that I don't know shit about Motive, the team itself. Like, I know they've done some stuff in the past, but I don't know anything about that team.
Yeah.
But the treatment that they gave Dead Space, the treatment that they gave the original Dead Space into this remake is fucking phenomenal. And I think Motive and like the Resident Evil team that's been handling all the remakes, they need to have master classes to all these other companies that quote unquote do the remakes, because Dead Space sets a bar. Resident Evil 2 remake sets a bar. 3 remakes sets a bar, not as high as Resident Evil 2 remake set the bar, but set a bar. And
I feel like you could probably throw Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls from Bluepoint in that conversation.
Yes, well, yeah, Bluepoint does a wonderful job.
Mm-hmm.
That too, yeah, but yeah, there's what I and you all have heard me say this, and all the times I gush about the Dead Space remake, like. The fact that, like they pulled from all of the lore that was already existing from all the other games that are technically canon in the Dead Space series, and they just dropped like little Easter eggs and all this stuff in there, for guys like me who basically I want the Dead Space. I want Dead Space 4 to actually happen, because like if you played Dead Space 3 and you played the Dead Space Awakened DLC, that they were planning a final game for the series. And we just never got it because, EA does what EA does best, and they fuck around and they find out.
So, do you think they're gonna do Dead Space 4 right away, or do you think they're gonna do 2 and 3 remakes?
They're gonna do the remakes. I have a funny feeling though that they're gonna kind of do like what the Alien movie series is doing right now, where they're like, oh, the first two are the ones that are canon, and everything else is like like beta canon, because that's basically how they're treating it now. With the Alien movies, like the 79 Alien movie by Ridley Scott, and then the 86 movie by James Cameron. They consider those two the major points in canon because every time they talk about rebooting or relaunching the series, they talk about taking off from where the second movie ended. So it's like, oh, we're just gonna say fuck all to like the third and the fourth movie, which like
it's multiverse.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. but yeah, I think they're going to do the Dead Space 3 that way. I have a funny feeling, but the sad part is that I think Dead Space 3 is the game that gave us the most lore about the entire like necromorph like and the Brother Moon stuff and things like that. So I feel like they'd be doing a disservice if they cut it off. Now, what they may do instead though is because they incorporated a lot of content from Dead Space 2, not so much like actual stuff from the games, but stuff that was established in the games. They incorporated a lot of that into it, because you remember you and what I told you and Stephanie about, like, you actually get to hear the actual log from the beginning of Dead Space 2 when Isaac is having the conversation with Nicole while she's getting ready on going to the Ishimura for the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal, and stuff like that. Like there's a special ending, but you have to play it on your New Game Plus run where you actually see the kickoff for what's going to start Dead Space 2. It's Motive did a fucking phenomenal job. Like everything from sound design to they reworked spacewalking and all that stuff, because spacewalking in the first Dead Space was garbage. At the time,
that Zero Gravity basketball was pretty fun.
Zero Gravity Basketball was fun, but and it's still in Dead Space Remake. If you hadn't played it yet, Matt, it's still there. There's a couple of tricks to it. It's still there. But yeah, there's just so much that I can go on about it. It's honestly like, I know, like, we've got so many other good fucking games that have come out this year and stuff like that. So I doubt Dead Space itself is going to make is going to make Game of the Year, on the Game Awards and all these other things. Like, it may stand a chance in BAFTAs, but I have a funny feeling that the BAFTAs are going to give it to somebody else. We already know no one takes IGN seriously, so we care less about what IGN is saying about their Game of the Year and stuff like that. But in my opinion, Dead Space for me is my number one, and that's for me saying Monster Hunter Rise had a kick ass fucking year last year with Sunbreak. Like shit, like Sunbreak hit end of life this June, and like, man, I'm still playing it technically. That there's something to be said about longevity in games and stuff like that, and the Sunbreak DLC basically made this, just like how Iceborne made Monster Hunter World a new game. Sunbreak made Monster Hunter Rise a new game, and that's something that cannot be downplayed enough. Moving on from Dead Space, though, we've got Resident Evil 4 Remake, which I have technically started. Notice it's remakes. Notice that, right? Resident Evil 4 Remake, which I have started, and the little bit I've seen, everybody that knows me knows I never actually beat Resident Evil 4 back when it was originally a GameCube game. Then it got ported to PS2, and then when they started porting it to everything else, I was like, oh no, I'm never fucking playing this game again. So everybody also knows that when I was like, why are you remaking Resident Evil 4? Like, I was one of those people who's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, you got Code Veronica sitting right here, but
and that's the one that actually advances the story in Resident
Evil. Exactly. But Resident Evil 4 Remake, the little bit that I've actually had a chance to play of that and stuff like that, kind of like reaffirms like where everything's going. And yes, I love remakes because like I'm a nostalgic person. So like, like when those rumors keep coming up of the Final Fantasy Tactics remake, bring it on. A Chrono Trigger remake would be amazing. Modernized and stuff like that. Final Fantasy 7 remake, of course. Like I'm just a nostalgic gamer and stuff like that.
I don't think Chrono Trigger is ever getting remade.
It's never. There's too much licensing and stuff going on with that game and stuff like that. They'll continue to re-release it for other systems and do a little bit of like technical like upgrades and stuff, but it will never get a full remake treatment.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on, and Toriyama's too busy trying to revive Dragon Ball Z for like the 19th time anyway.
Well,
so
it's also
he's got that new one, Sandland.
It's also one of those. It's also one of those games that's held up in such high regard.
That
if you start messing with, I mean, like, I'll be honest with you. I thought Square was going to shoot themselves in the foot remaking 7, just because that.
I thought so too.
I mean, I don't care about Final Fantasy, but I thought that, like, because so many people love that game, I thought it was going to end up being more alienating than it was. But I feel the same way about Chrono Trigger. If you start messing with hallowed ground, you only get You most of the time only get problems.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I can't really say too much about the RE4 remake because like I'm not that deep into it. I literally just played the intro of it because I just had to see, and see like if it was gonna be worth it because like in all honesty, like I said, I was one of those people like we didn't ask for this. Why are you giving this to us? But I'm impressed, but also knowing that the caliber of game that Resident Evil 4 is and stuff like that, like it definitely should be on. It definitely will be on list for Game of the Year and stuff like that. So I don't mind putting it on my personal Game of the Year. And also, I'm trying to put games on there that I've actually put my hands on and played because I don't play enough games, as you guys know. And in the games I am playing, I'm playing old ass games. Yeah. So there's that. Also, I also have to throw Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon into this. Like basically you heard me tell Matt that, like this is definitely the game that I hoped it would be. And yes, the combat is so fluid. Mech design is up there. Like just gameplay. I'm talking about gameplay, not combat. Gameplay is fucking solid and stuff like that. And there's an actual it's been a while since I played an Armored Core game, so I can't remember how like tight the story is within the game and stuff like that. But they're actually giving lore and world building for this game, stuff like that, which I don't remember the previous games having. I just remember you being like just like a gun for hire and just like slapping a mech together and just going out there and blowing shit up and stuff like that. Technically, that's the same thing here, except there is a storyline that's going on, with this planet that you're on and stuff like that, and it's amazing. Like trust me, and also like it's one of the last few games that are being sold at $60 at the $60 introductory price point. Yeah. So you guys need to jump on that, because like everything's gonna be $70 real soon here. Nintendo fans, like get ready.
Zelda was already $70.
Yeah, Zelda was already $70, and guess what? Like they're already talking about some more games coming out $70 real soon here. So get ready for that because I told you guys when the PS5 launched that $70 is the new normal. Mm-hmm. I told you guys that, and don't blame it on Sony. Yeah, and don't blame it on Sony because Microsoft was also on that train from the very beginning. They decided to let Sony go first with it.
Yeah, Sony went first. Like that's really what happened.
Yeah, and the advantage Microsoft had too was like they still had 2 games coming out on Xbox One, which were $60 games, and then Game Pass. Like, oh, this game's $70, but you can subscribe to Game Pass for $10 and play it.
Little did you know you're paying $140 a year, but whatever.
Yeah, but if it doesn't matter. 3 games that pays for it,
Yeah, true. That's true. Like this is not me trying to bash on any system right now.
I'll bash right now. I'll bash Game Pass right now. Everybody's complaining about PlayStation Plus going up. Well, if you do the math, Game Pass is like way more expensive, especially Ultimate.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Like, and my dumbass, I just signed on for Ultimate.
Yeah. Why? My dumbass.
That's why, actually. Well, actually, okay. So, got my ROG Ally back in June, and in the ROG Ally, there's a 3-month card for Game Pass Ultimate. So I was like, and when I put the code in, the first thing it said is, by agreeing to this, like when the 3-month trial is over, like you'll be charged the regular price for it. And I'm like, the regular price is $17, $18 now. But I want it. So yeah, because that's my backdoor to get an EA play. That was I justified it. Like now. Maybe the justification is gonna bite me in the ass, but you know what I did?
It's only a matter of time until we see LeRon playing Madden. It's only a matter of time.
Hey, Corey, you ready to play that Madden?
I mean, yeah, but it's more like a turn-based RPG at this point.
Oh my god!
The way the lag is online, man. Good luck.
The way you're saying it, might want to jump back in finally.
All right, but yeah. So Armored Core 4 Fires Rubicon. Armored Core 6. I'm sorry, Fires of Rubicon. Yeah. And lastly is Final Fantasy 16. Gorgeous game. There's a couple of slip ups there, and stuff like that. Like it's just like Matt said, it's Square Enix. But yeah. Still. The one thing I will say, when you look at all the other games that Square put out this year, in the build up to Final Fantasy 16, the one thing, and I say this all the time, they don't give a shit about any other game they put out unless that game has Final Fantasy in its name and it is one of the mainline games in the series. Because like the Stranger in Paradise game, yeah, whatever.
That game was fun.
Forspoken, I'm sorry, good luck with Star Ocean, but I think honestly, all they're doing is they're basically padding their inventory while they get the rest of the Final Fantasy VII remake stuff off the ground, which I cannot wait for Rebirth. So yeah, I only have 4 games that are my contender for game of the year because these are 4 games I'm actively playing. Yes, there are other new games I'm actually playing. I'm playing Sea of Stars, but Sea of Stars, like I hate this. Sea of Stars is probably best indie of the year in my opinion, but not game of the year.
Why not?
Because it's
an indie, you are a coward, sir.
I was going to say that, but in all honesty, when we look at Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy 16, what am I missing here?
Star Wars.
No. I'm talking about RPGs. I'm missing big ones. Well, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There's that one. Starfield, yes, but I think Starfield kind of. Thank you. When you Diablo 4, when you stack them up to those games, no.
See, the only reason
I think you guys never played it. Come on.
The only reason I'll ever ask that question is because there's a certain, and I'm not saying that this is your intent at all, but like there's a certain backhandedness to that. Like, oh, it's best indie of the year, but it can't be best game, and I'll always argue in favor of that because when you look at, if you get into the discourse with enough of the general public involved, it becomes, oh, but it's just pixel art. Oh, but it's small. It's only 5 hours long. How can it be that great? And if you were to dig into those folks' history, they're the ones complaining about how games are too long.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you give them a tight, 10, 15 hour experience and they're like, but it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And like, well, you're examine your own metrics at that point.
Yeah.
Because what always intrigues me about the indie space is more often than not, they will tie up the bow. Are there games where they don't? Sure. But more often than not, it's like a full-fleshed idea, and there's not an opening for DLC all the time. There's not an opening for microtransactions all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that all of those things are bad. They're kind of nefarious at times, but there's a reason AAA games do that.
Yeah.
And it's not always because they want the art to triumph. It's because they want to be able to pay for the art in a sense.
Honestly, the only reason why Sea of Stars I feel like is not like Sea of Stars is a wonderful game. I love the game and stuff like that. I'm playing the Game Pass version, but I'm going to buy a legit copy of the game. Like that shows the level of commitment I have. Because and everyone knows me when I turn around and say like, hey, like even though I'm playing this for free, I'm going to buy this game. Yeah. That right there is, I feel like that's a better stamp of a rating for a game than anything else, because a lot of people are like, okay, I played this game on Game Pass and I moved on and shit like that. Did you enjoy the fucking game? What is? Yeah. Ultimately though, like I said, Sea of Stars is great. Like it scratches that Chrono Trigger itch for me, which I love, because Chrono Trigger is one of my all-time favorite like RPGs. And this is me who has an absolute love for Final Fantasy Tactics, but everybody wants to lump Tactics as a different type of RPG. So I was like, okay, fuck you guys. Then, we're going to look at a classic RPG, like what it is. Sea of Stars is definitely up there for me and stuff like that. But like I said, like, I just feel like when you weigh it up against like all the other stuff, and, some of these games are heavy hitters, but also some of these games really have like the sauce. You know what I mean?
The sauce.
Yeah. So So those are my picks. So I guess I kind of snuck Sea of Stars in there. My bad. As far as like the biggest disappointments for me, I don't play enough games, but the games I do play, I can tell you the biggest disappointment for me had to be Callisto Protocol. And it's sad for me to say this because Callisto Protocol, I enjoyed.
Wanted to be Dead Space.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of Callisto Protocol. That's the problem. I enjoyed it, but here's the thing, and you know what? As we get further, this is episode 200 of the Boss Rush podcast. But as we get further and further and get more, when episode 300 comes out, 350 comes out, 400, 500 comes out, you're probably gonna hear me say the same thing. I play a lot of games on PC now, and if your game is poorly optimized for the PC, we're gonna have a problem. And I don't just mean like usually a deal breaker for me is like, does the game slip below 30 frames per second? Usually that's a deal breaker. But if there's other stuff going on in your game, like for example, like there's crazy screen tearing going on, and this is stuff that was happening on the console versions too. And console versions are more highly optimized than most games do that come for the PC that are built for the PC, stuff like that. Callisto Protocol had a very rough 4 days from launch. A very rough 4 days. I was one of the people that had the early access because I bought the deluxe edition. So guess what? I'm sitting here ripping my hair out, with a freaking RTX 3080 graphics card, and this game is giving me all sorts of fucking hell. Stuff like that. Once I actually got a chance to play the game, because they did one patch, and the sad part is that like Callisto Protocol is from the same team that gave us Dead Space, like the original Dead Space and stuff like that. So like in Glenn Schofield we trust, which is by the way, I'm saving this topic for a Boss Rush Extra. Why do we put so much faith and weight in developers and publishers? Why do we do this? Why do we do this in this day and age? But anyway, I was like, man, the guys who originally were responsible that gave me the game that got me back into survival horror, because when Dead Space came out back in 2008, survival horror games were so stale. They were so stale. Like I loved Resident Evil, and then I did not love Resident Evil, and all these other games that spawned because of Resident Evil, like I loved them until I didn't love them anymore and stuff. And I stopped playing survival horror games till Dead Space came out. So like the people who gave us like Dead Space came back with Callisto Protocol after EA ran them out the fucking stadium and stuff like that. I was like, yes, sign me up and stuff like that. Callisto Protocol, fun game. The problem is, outside of that, they spent too much time. They made a mistake that they couldn't have afforded to make when they were doing Dead Space. They tried to set too much lore up in the initial game, when all you have to do. When you think about things, because Dead Space, for example, Dead Space, or the original or the remake, like Dead Space, it felt like The Thing meets Alien, and The Thing meets Alien / Event Horizon. That's the way Dead Space felt. And the cool thing about when you play the original Dead Space game is they gave you just enough background to know what the universe was without bogging you down in the overall story and stuff like that. I get it. Story is everything in games and stuff like that. But we knew that Callisto Protocol was setting up a universe and stuff like that. They gave us too much. And that was one thing. So, and now that we hear that, Crafton is already like cracked down and laid off I think a third of their staff already and stuff like that and stuff like that. It's kind of sad to hear it because there's a cliffhanger in the Callisto Protocol's ending. That's like, okay, we know it's going to be a second game, but we already knew it was going to be a second game because Schofield told us the scope of what he was trying to do and stuff like that. So there's that. Combat system was kind of fun. I didn't bash the combat system. A lot of people did bash the combat system. But I'm like, man, this is like every other freaking game you play. Once you get the hang of what the combat is, it becomes second nature. So I didn't understand why people were so upset about the whole dodge, dodge, swing, dodge, dodge, shoot, dodge, dodge, swing. I don't understand, because every game is repetitive. But ultimately, what kind of like killed Callisto Protocol for me, and I beat the game. I enjoyed the game. I'll probably play it again now the final DLC is out and stuff like that. Is just the fact that like it didn't have the best launch. Didn't have the best launch, and they tried to do too much. Yeah.
Nice.
That's everything for me.
Okay. I'm gonna go next because I want to. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of speed through these, just because we are kind of running along a little bit. So,
My bad.
These aren't in any particular order. But Hogwarts Legacy, I think, is like one of the best games of the year. I really loved playing that game. I just, I don't know, man. There's something about Harry Potter, man, that just, I don't know what it is, but I really, really enjoyed it, and it like reignited my excitement for that franchise. I really hope that they are working on a sequel, which by all indications they are. So I just loved flying around. I loved going through the trials. I thought the story was better than mediocre. But just all the things you could find in the castle and on its own, right, is just, it's so nuts. That whole maze and hidden doors and traps and treasures and doing the what is it, the terrible curses or whatever they are just in the middle of the school because you could do it. Like, it was just funny.
Yep.
Star Wars Jedi. Yeah. Star Wars Jedi Fallen or Jedi Survivor. I don't know why I put Fallen Order there.
I was gonna ask, but you've corrected yourself.
Yeah. Jedi Survivor. I really love that cast of characters. I really like how they explored Cal's and Marin's relationship. I did not see the big twist in that game coming, like, at all. There's this huge twist, and I totally didn't see it at all coming. It's about 2/3 of the way through the main campaign, so I'm not going to spoil it here, but it's didn't expect it. I think the combat is interesting. I think what I really like is that they didn't Metroid you, right, where they like take away all the powers you learned in the first game. They actually just build upon those powers, which were really cool. It was really nice to see that I could be like, oh, I remember how to do this. Oh, I can make it stronger. I can do this now with it. It was really cool. So I thought the way the game was set up, like you have like this hub area, and then you have the different planets that you could go to instead of like your ship being the hub area. That there's like a whole planet that you can kind of build up, and if you want to do it, you can farm and build up resources and create outposts and stuff that give you it's a really cool game. The main campaign's only about, I would say, 18 to 20 hours, but if you want to do everything I was reading, you could be in there for 65 or 70 hours doing all the side quests and fighting the side bosses and stuff.
And finding all the fish for scuba stiv.
Yeah. You actually do have to find certain food items for people. Sea of Stars, we talked
the first one too.
What?
I think that was present in the first one too.
Yeah, you could build that little like garden on the ship in the first one.
I actually just finished that prequel novel, and it was good. It actually kind of brings in more insight of why the crew separated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
they kind of go over that a little bit in the game because I think they assume not everybody's going to read the novel. But
wait, what is this?
Jedi Survivor.
Okay.
Jedi Survivor had a book called Jedi Battle Scars.
Yeah.
That takes place.
Was not aware of that.
Yeah. Sea of Stars, we talked about already. I'm just really loving that game a lot more than I actually thought I would, because I'm not really into that style of game anymore. But the writing is so good, and the combat is fun, and the color, it's so colorful, and the music is great. Pikmin 4 with an asterisk. I played the entire demo in one sitting. I'm planning on getting it within the next week or so because I want to continue playing it. I love the new mechanics and how they built off of Pikmin 1 and not Pikmin 3. Really great. I love the little dungeons that you go through, and the ice Pikmin are my new best friends. really, really fun. Is that 5? Oh, Zelda is on here too, which for it's Zelda. It's pretty obvious. But here are my 2 disappointments. So Fire Emblem Engage was a huge disappointment to me. I fell off that game so hard, I forgot that it existed. It was I missed everything from Three Houses, like the relationship building and just the side stuff you could do in the hub area and stuff. It just, this game, I played like 15 hours. I'm like, I'm done. I can't. But I'm actually taking one of my disappointments off of here, and I'm actually going to put one of my favorite games on this list. Zelda is a disappointment, mostly because
wait. Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I need to hear this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mostly because I think I spent so much time in Breath of the Wild that I thought returning to this world was going to be a fun new adventure with new powers, and essentially it is. But it's the Division to the Division 2 issue that I had, where like I really liked the Division 1. I was like, yeah, I could go for more Division, and it turns out being in the same area just didn't. It kind of was like I feel like I've done most of this before in a different way, right? I hate the building. I think the building stuff is just, it's not that it's bad, but I don't like it. I still think some of the powers are not as cool as Breath of the Wild.
Oh no, man, Ascend's pretty dope.
Yeah, but like for me, it's like I like the power if I'm in like a cave and I need to go up to like get out of the cave. But like sometimes you get into spots where like I don't know where I'm going to come out here, and
then you just try it,
Yeah.
If you come out like,
I mean, I still put 80 hours into this game.
Did you watch any Sesame Street with your kids? Didn't Elmo teach you anything?
Nope.
I wonder what if I tried. Come on.
We don't watch Sesame Street right now. Right now we're on Spidey and His Amazing Friends. So
okay.
well,
You should watch
There's
Sesame
no
Street
try.
because the Letter of the Day song absolutely slaps.
But
And that's completely honest. I think that song fucking rules.
Yeah. So I mean, I really loved the story in Zelda. I thought the story was amazing. I thought the story was really cool, and the things that happened during it is, and the final boss fight is incredible. But I just don't feel the need. Like I beat it, and I'm like, I don't feel the need to go back and do things like I did in the first one. So I think the biggest thing though was like, I thought the powers were interesting enough. I just wish we were somewhere else besides this same version of Hyrule. I think was like the biggest thing for me. It was like, yeah.
So you didn't. So you honestly didn't want a direct sequel, then, basically.
I like these versions. I love these versions of characters. I love the story they told. I wish the landmass we were exploring was a different landmass.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
kind of makes you miss those old days of Link to the Past, where like you had the overworld and you had the dark world.
Yeah. But the disappointment that I deleted was Starfield, because I really, really wanted to like that game and I just didn't. But that's on me though, because I don't really care for Bethesda RPGs, and I tried to play one.
I would have told you wouldn't have liked that one.
Yeah, I mean, I knew in the back of my mind, I knew, but I'm like, so much of this game looks like Mass Effect, and I really want to just like see what the companion stuff looks like, and I don't know, man, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, Starfield. Starfield, one of those ones like I was super hyped for it, and now I just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got it for Game Pass, and I'm glad I finally made the decision not to spend $300 for that premium kit. I really want that watch, but no.
The thing about Starfield is it is a Bethesda RPG. It's not meant to be played in one quick burst and be like, okay, I'm done. This is one of those games that you gotta come back to.
Oh, I know.
Well, no one plays an RPG in one quick burst. Okay, you're built differently. You're built different.
What is a quick burst for an RPG for you?
Well, okay, quick burst meaning you can
Like,
finish it off in a
are we
couple of
talking
weeks.
finishing The Witcher 3 in 28 hours, like a buddy of mine, or
No, like you can put like a whole bunch of hours in it, but you put a whole bunch of hours within like a couple of weeks.
okay,
Like I finished Starfield over Labor Day weekend, but I put like close to how many?
Yeah, you
Like
had early access,
35.
right?
Yeah, I had early
Yeah.
access. And I put like somewhere between 35 to 40 hours in that 4-day weekend.
mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by like quick bursts, or like I guess concentrated bursts. How about that?
That's fine.
Matt, I'm going to you next.
Okay, so my list is essentially pretty truncated because I don't remember the games I've played this year outside of the ones that I listed here, and I don't really have like. I mean, I could say Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, but I feel like that disappointment is more on me than it is the game. So I don't want.
Yeah.
I left the disappointment off. But I think my favorite game of the year so far, I think Tears of the Kingdom might edge out Remnant 2. I've not finished Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm at a point where I don't think I ever will. Not because I don't want to. Well, maybe it is because I don't want to, but like, not because nothing is bad about the game making me not finish it. Why I don't finish that game is I just auto build a flying machine and fly around. And I'll do this in the sky. I'll do this in the depths. I'll do this just over Hyrule Field. It's weird how Zelda became like a handheld No Man's Sky for me in that respect, because like,
oh wow,
like I would just build a flying machine. I have some lasers on it. I have some cannons on it. So if anyone decides to fuck around, they'll find out. And I just vibe when I play that game. Now I've beaten all of the areas.
Mm-hmm.
I found just about everything in the old overworld, and I'm not doing the Korok seeds this time out. Fuck that. I do agree with Corey in that, like the landmass thing is, there's something that just doesn't feel right about it, and I think I know why. And it didn't click with me till right now. I remember when we did our big Zelda episode here, and LeRon and I were talking about starting the original Legend of Zelda over for the second run. Like, that's what this is.
Yes.
It just reshuffled everything.
Yes.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, if somebody was to play one of these games first, like, I would probably tell them Tears of the Kingdom, because it's a more the story is there, right? I mean Breath of the Wild has story, but you know, who was really paying attention, really?
Well, I mean, ultimately, like, the story, if you want, I could levy a thing. The story in Zelda doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
like, it really doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, the character development is one thing. The bond between Link and Zelda is one thing, but like, ultimately, what do you get at the end? Ganon just comes back.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Ganon's the bad guy. Oh, you'll fight him and you'll win. But will you? Because there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, it's funny because even when Ganon's not the bad guy, he winds up being the bad guy. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, ultimately, like, this, I don't think this. I don't. If someone's going to tell me that Zelda is a great story, I'm going to be like, no. Here's
Zelda. Zelda is Nintendo's greatest fairy tale. How about that?
Yeah.
But continue.
He's a
Don't ever change, Matt.
This is what I love about Matt. This is what
I won't.
Oh man. Oh.
Did you have more games, man? I know you had more games.
Yeah, I do. Well, we only got through one. We only got through one. Remnant 2 is probably second as of right now. I went through it earlier. I won't bore y'all with any more of it, but play Remnant 2, please. Hell, DM me. I'll play it with you. It's co-op. It's real fun.
Cross-platform too.
Yes. I don't know if it's cross-platform play, though. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's not. Third on this list because I started it and finished it this year. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
Yeah.
For the third year in a row, Monster Hunter ends up the same Monster Hunter ends up on my Game of the Year list. Because,
I never asked you what weapon do you main?
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, it's really funny. So when Corey did the post on Twitter, I retweeted it, quote tweeted it, whatnot, and said, ask me the awkward stuff. And my buddy Zach decided to ask me, why don't you use hammer? Because it's obviously the best one. He loves
Hammer's good, but you have to be too close to that. Or
I love bashing. I love bashing things in the face, but
I now have 3 main weapons that I rotate between. I love the bow in Rise.
Okay.
I also love the lance.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the insect glaive.
All right.
I'm a charge blade person myself.
So I tried the charge blade and I could never get. What I like about Monster Hunter is the combat is kind of a dance, and I could not figure out the rhythm of the tune that works with the charge blade. Mm-hmm. So I also tried sword and shield. That didn't really do it for me. I don't think any weapon in that game is bad, except maybe the guns. I don't like the guns at all.
Oh! I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
Not, like, I don't like the guns, but also like I feel like the guns in that game are deliberately limited, and you have to really sort of funnel yourself into those.
That is true.
In a way that, like, if you deviate from that, you've ruined your process. I think longsword mains are divas, and I will not be taking questions. My favorite mains, hunting horn. You see a hunting horn jump in the game, you're like, you and me, pal. We hang out.
But not just that.
Master the hunting horn. They, like, in a multiplayer party, that is like one of the most best weapons.
Yeah.
Well, no. I'll take it one step further,
though. Rise, I hunting horned the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And most of
I'll take it one step further though. A hunting horn, not just a hunting horn player, but a hunting horn player who actually does combat and does the melodies at the same time.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
There's a special place, and there's a special place in the pearly gates for those guys.
Yes. But I really like. I do like watching someone play with the gun lance, because if you watch,
that's me. I'm a gun lance mate.
Like I've recently just started messing with the gun lance again. I started it when I started on PC, and then never got very far. But I think if you see someone do gun lance really well, it's like watching someone cook a perfect meatball. It's absolutely wonderful to watch.
Perfect meatball.
No, a perfect meal.
Oh, meal. Oh, I thought you said meatball. I'm sorry.
I mean, if your perfect meal is spaghetti, there's meatballs in there somewhere.
Spaghetti is pretty tight,
right?
Yeah.
And Monster Hunter Rise, like, this has made me, like, World brought me in, but this game will make me stay a Monster Hunter player.
World was your first Monster Hunter game?
World was my first Monster Hunter.
Oh, it was your first serious one, because like my first Monster Hunter game goes all the way back to PS2.
I look at those and I'm like, Monster hunting sounds cool, and never got it. Never actually tried it until.
I started with 3, the 3 for the DS. That didn't.
I was about to say.
And 4 did. Mm-hmm. I really liked 4.
Like, I did start messing around with Generations Ultimate on the Switch, and I got
That let me down. That let me down so hard.
I got super far in it, and it's just one of those things. Like, I'm glad I've gotten that experience. But it also has told me that, like, I don't need to go try older Monster Hunters than that.
Yeah.
Because you see in one game like how far the series has come. Next on my list is the mech fighting game I mentioned earlier, Project Nimbus Complete Edition. If you a couple of years ago when Daemon X Machina came out, like, I was
That let
absolutely
me down.
Oh, I love that game. I thought that game was so cool. But this is probably a faster, a more frenetic combat version of that, um, with less. Like, there's story there, but honestly, I'm not paying attention
Yo,
to it
why does this damn mech look like Jehute from
it,
fucking Zone of the Enders?
because it's cool as shit. That's why.
He's got a penis for the butt.
Hey, you know what? We will not kink shame anybody here, sir.
Okay, I may have to check this out.
It's dope.
I just looked it up on Steam. Wait, it's only $7?
Yeah, it came out like 4 years ago. It's old, but um, but I only played it this year, so I count it. But my last game that I will talk about that I like, Pikmin 4. I still think Pikmin is like it will be forever a sleeping giant of a Nintendo IP, because I think when you finally get to Pikmin is when you're ready for it. And what I love about these games is that they come out so far away from the other one that I forget about it and re-fall in love with the series every time a new one comes out. Pikmin 4 is dope. I'm with Corey. The ice ones are lovely, and this playing this like made me start Pikmin 1 again, and Pikmin 1's dope. I will play Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3 again because of it. And yeah, I love this series. So
it's a good one.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm just looking at this Project Nimbus gameplay, and I'm like, man, this is giving me like Macross vibes. The only thing is like the mech doesn't transform.
Yeah, I know. There's I'm gonna your Exodus
803
on Discord as well, right?
Yep.
Okay, hang tight. Watch for your DMs. Go ahead, Pat. I believe you are the only one left.
Yep.
Slide right on in.
I'll try to be fast here. It shouldn't take more than 30 minutes to go through my list.
Perfect.
we got another Ed here.
No, so a lot of what you guys mentioned have been on my list. Final Fantasy 16. I absolutely love that game. It's one of my favorite Final Fantasies right now. Just the combat was just freaking fantastic with those icon battles. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I did enjoy that game a lot. I will agree. It just felt like more of an extension to Breath of the Wild, but it's I thought they did a better job. I like the more the more focused shrines than compared to Breath of the Wild shrines. I feel like the shrines were more thought out.
I agree with you there. The shrines were great.
Yeah. What else? Pikmin 4. Absolutely adored Pikmin 4. I got into Pikmin with Pikmin 3. I played the other two Pikmins this year when they came out, but Pikmin 4 is like the masterpiece of Pikmin. It took all the best features on the other Pikmin and they put it into this game. And then they added Ochi.
Ochi.
Yep.
What was the first game you mentioned, Pat? I apologize.
Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
Yep. All right. And also, I really like Starfield, but I also enjoy Bethesda RPGs, and this is one of the I like the thought of going out and exploring space. I liked No Man's Skies exploration, and I plan on going back and playing Starfield and just exploring the systems and scanning those resources and checking out them planets. And also, the one that no one else had on their list is A Space for the Unbound, an indie game that came out early this year from a small Indonesian developer. And this game was absolutely beautiful. It's a pixel art. It's a pixel art kind of narrative game, but the stories and the themes that it goes through with depression and grief, and it hits really hard. And the conclusion of the story, it wraps up so perfectly. Like, there are games that, like, they could be the most amazing games and they can really stumble on the ending. The ending to this game lands like that one girl. It lands like that one girl at the Olympics when she, basically broke her ankle to get that perfect landing.
Carrie Strug.
I'm about Carrie Strug.
It lands like Carrie Strug, guys. It's perfect.
So I'm super into this game. I haven't played it yet. I saw a trailer for it, and then I saw that there was a nice physical edition on Amazon. And once that comes, I will play it because I saw this. I'm like, I have to play this game.
Yeah, when I was at PAX East, I got to talk to the creator of this game.
Oh, nice!
And like that was probably one of my best experiences at PAX. This game is beautiful. He gave me an art card that he signed on the back of it. It's like I plan on playing through this game multiple times, and it's totally worth at least checking out once.
Nice.
For my disappointments, Pikmin 2 was one of my biggest disappointments because I absolutely loved that game until you got to the last area, and then all those dungeons were just so poorly designed and just cheap all around that it just completely robbed me of any joy that I had in finishing that game.
Resisting the temptation to tell you how wrong you are, sir.
Oh my gosh. So, like, how many times I had to hard reset the game because of some stupid ass bomb that blew up like 80 of my Pikmin in a very, very tight corridor because I can't call my Pikmin. They keep running off and doing stupid things. Like, the last few dungeons were just an absolute nightmare for me.
I mean, they are feral pickles. They're very hard to wrangle.
Yeah.
Feral pickles.
Yeah, but it's
the name of my first hip hop album. Just saying.
Great, can't wait to hear it.
But yeah, that one just made me very upset. The other one I had put as a disappointment was an indie game called Decarnation. I loved the premise and the story that this game had, but when I got the last like hour and a half of this game was super bugged. To the point where the sound stopped working, the story it really became very unplayable at the very end, to the point where I don't even know how the game even finished because nothing was lining up correctly, like with just scenes. And I don't know, it took a great idea about the horrors of a woman who gets kidnapped and pretty much living in someone's basement and for like several months and starting to develop like Stockholm syndrome, and it just the decline of her mental state to just being such a buggy ass mess at the end that I just did not care about it at the end.
That's fair.
So hopefully, like, if it gets patched up, that'll be awesome, but I just could not recommend the game solely because of the mess that was the end. And not story-wise, just complete technical mess.
That always sucks when that ruins the game.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that is an artistic choice?
If it is,
the reason I'm asking, like, think about it. The game's name is Decarnation.
Yeah,
as opposed to reincarnation, which is being reborn. So so is the climax of this game just being deborn?
just devolving to to a state of complete nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of what the themes were, but a lot of it, like cutscenes, like revolved around. One of the things is like a rhythm game, and the music for this rhythm game cuts out almost like a minute and a half into it, and there's still like 3 minutes of like rhythm game that you're just like, okay, but and then all of a sudden it's just this long, awkward. You're not sure if your game froze or if this is part of the cutscene because I don't know. It
really trying the Eternal Darkness thing, or it's just glitching.
yeah. Is this a glitch or is this how the game's supposed to be? So, anyways, yep, those are mine.
Video games.
We did it.
Yeah.
Matt, why did you send me this trailer? Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Oh my god.
Oh man, on that
It
note.
doesn't come out till next year. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Dope as shit, right?
Yeah?
Right?
Oh, why don't we get more games like this? I mean, Armored Core, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a champion for Armored Core, but goddamn.
Like, if I had Gundam games like this,
yo, the Gundam games could be fucking goat as hell
Yeah.
if they just the combat feels sluggish in Gundam games.
Like, it got really close with Maxi Boost on. It really did. But like, imagine being able to be Char Aznable in this game.
I played Deus Ex Machina or Daemon Ex Machina, whatever, the Nintendo one, for like an hour. Does that game actually have like a story involved, or
probably? I don't know.
No, okay.
What plot?
Yeah, I just like getting the robot, blow shit up. That's what I did, and I had fun. I had fun for like 40 hours just doing that. That was really all I needed.
I feel like us Western gamers need to derive our enjoyment off of games the same way the Japanese gamers do. Like they're just like oh, this looks cool as shit. Let's go.
Yeah,
they don't care about story.
And like they're when I play like a roguelike or even a Souls game, like most of the time, like it doesn't matter what the lore is. I mean, it's cool to watch YouTubers, Vati Vidya and the like, go into the lore behind things because of what the game just sort of puts out there for you. That's a fascinating thing. But while you're in it, I'm not. I don't care. All I know is that in Dark Souls 1, I had this guy with a bucket hat named Solaire that came with me every fight he was available for, and we had fun.
And then you praised
and praise the sun. Or and all of that stuff is really cool, but like at the same time, in Daemon Ex Machina, like, yeah, there's tons of dialogue and tons of setup. But ultimately, like, if the gameplay wasn't there, I wouldn't care, and the gameplay was there, and I didn't need to care. So
maybe that's actually going to be on the next Nintendo Direct, the Daemon Ex Machina 2 that they teased.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm so ready for that.
Speaking of ready, I'm ready to end this show. So before Matt and LeRon start having another, hey, we like the same games, love fest going on. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. Matt, thank you for joining us tonight.
Happy to be here as always.
Tell people
it's an honor to be here for 200. It really is.
Tell people where they can find you, or not.
You can find me on Twitter. I'm not calling it what Elon Musk named it. So
thank God.
Don't at me. You can find me on Twitter at @infinite_rewind, or you can find me on Blue Sky at @infinite-rewind. I have a couple of podcasts that are most of my podcasts are still on hiatus because I had a child this year. But the one that has started back up is my movie podcast. It's called Freereeling It. And it's my buddy Jesse and I just chatting about movies. We recently talked about one of my favorite movies of all time called Gates of Heaven. And on our next episode, we are revisiting our top 10s and seeing if any of them have changed. So
nice.
So yeah, that's at Free Reeling It on Tumblr of all places, because why not?
Because why not?
And then I also host others, but everything is kind of on hiatus for the moment. So when I have more to say about that, next time I'm here, I will.
Cool. Well, you're welcome back anytime, Matt.
Probably take you up on that.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well,
someone's got to talk about Monster Hunter with LeRon, right?
I know.
Damn straight.
I know. He's itching. He's itching to talk more Monster Hunter, and
that's a different problem. But I'll talk Monster
Hunter. Well, you can find us on social media at Boss Rush Podcast, at Boss Rush Network. You can subscribe to YouTube. If you're a patron, you get this episode a week early. We kind of switched around some stuff, so this episode will go up on Mondays, and then the following Monday for free feeds. Check out our website. Check out all the other things we do. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
So long.
Where's the stop? If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushMedia and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.